Hello and welcome to Mad About Sports for today's live stream. And today we are going to be talking about India versus Afghanistan. The match will be underway in few minutes from now because it is happening in Mohali, the first T20 of the three, and India have decided to bowl first. Now, before we get into this live stream, do not forget to check out our courses with Mad About Sports. If you are into analytics, if you want to make strategies, or if you want to work with your favorite sporting teams or favorite IPL team for that matter, the link is in the description. Check out our courses with Mad About Sports right away, and you can be in for a very good career prospect. And if you're into numbers as well, you don't need to have any prior knowledge of data analytics for this. It's a 5-day workshop. You can check it out. Let's get into today's live stream because India taking on Afghanistan. This is the last series before the T20 World Cup, which will be played in June and July in the USA. For India, obviously, it's a massive series because India will have to try different combinations. India will know that, ideally speaking, this is their last opportunity to possibly, move one step forward in terms of where they've been and to hunt for a high C trophy. Now, the news is already out from yesterday that Virat Kohli will not be taking part in this game because of personal reasons, as stated by BCCI and Virat Kohli. But having said that, India have definitely another few options which India have up their sleeves. Very surprising that the playing 11 is out now, which we'll put up on the screen in a few minutes' time. But yeah, India have decided to field first, considering that it's winters in north of India. It's played in Mohali, one of the most northern parts of India, and the will be there from the very first ball itself. But it's only going to get worse as the games progress and later into the night. And the conditions are pretty cold. I mean, you usually don't play a lot of games in this at this part of the year, and when we play as well, not limited overs games, isn't it? Because and so India will be knowing to play in northernmost part of India. It's going to be tough, especially with the cold wave around. And to add to that, bowling second will be a massive challenge with a wet ball in Mohali. It's going to be Herculean task for a young bowling attack. So India have decided to field first. We'll put the playing 11 up on the screen now because if you look at the playing 11, what we have for today's game after India have decided to bowl first, it's surprising that India have decided to go in with someone like a Shubman Gill ahead of Yashasvi Jaiswal. No particular reasons behind that, I believe. It's not rational or form. It's just unfortunate that Mr. Shubman Gill will be getting the nod ahead for today's game, and there is no someone like a Yashasvi Jaiswal, or could it be could be a sign of things to come as well. Tilak Verma has gotten a nod ahead of Sanju Samson. That's another surprising call, but obviously India were just playing in with 5 bowlers, so India would want that extra bit of bowling option. But Shivam Dubey makes it. This could be a skeleton structure of what India will line up like, in from what I can see. Because if you look at the skeleton structure, what I mean by this is, if you look, Hardik Pandya will be definitely taking the Shivam Dubey spot in that playing 11, as you see on the screen. And to add to that, you might just see you're also seeing a Tilak Verma. More or less likely that it's going to be Surya Kumar Yadav who might just take up Tilak Verma's spot, and Virat Kohli might just open the batting for Team India in the coming matches. I mean, only the second match will tell us how things are shaping up like. But this looks like a skeleton structure of what this team could possibly look like when Virat Kohli is back and when the team will line up for the T20 World Cup. Because remember, at this point, this is your last possible option to check out a structure and combination before you head into the marquee event, which is the World Cup. So India are wary of their options. India are wary of who they have in their ranks at this point. Now, obviously, we have to look at man-to-man options and like replacements. So having said that, you can see Shivam Dubey has gotten that nod ahead, right? Shivam Dubey has gotten that nod ahead because you want to play that all-rounder. You want to see how that all-rounder fits into your 11 at a number 5 spot. And Jitesh Sharma will most likely keep wickets in the World Cup. Now, why I'm saying that is because, if you look at the structure, and if you look at this team, you can't have an Ishan Kishan in this 11. And now a lot of speculations going on Ishan Kishan's disciplinary actions and whatnot. You don't see Ishan Kishan playing. And once Surya is back, then you have someone like a Hardik and a Rinku. Where do you fit in a KL Rahul for that matter? Or where do you fit in someone like a Sanju Samson? I'll just display a very interesting stat for you all as to how wicket keepers are fared up, right? Now, Why wicketkeeper batters now? Obviously, Rohit Sharma. It has been Yashasvi Jaiswal who has made way for Rohit Sharma here. So that's obviously the to call they've gone with. But I think that just more or less likely to do with the structure of the 11. Now, if you look at the batting options they have now, KL Rahul cannot bat somewhere at number 5, number 6, and neither can Sanju Samson nor can Ishan Kishan. The best option you have as a finisher and is Jitesh Sharma because he's done that job for his domestic setup and he's been doing that job for the Punjab Kings as well. So for him to come in and fit into that role at number 6, he would be more comfortable doing that. So in comparison with other three batters who are predominantly top order players who likes to bat in top 4, nothing less than that. Now that's why Jitesh Sharma is slightly the front runner here, and he could be the person who would take up the wicket keeping role in the World Cup, considering the structure of the 11. Now, why I'm emphasizing on the structure of the 11 over here is because if you look how the team is lined up, India will be playing with a proper three fast bowlers when the World Cup starts for sure. Now you'd be having a Kuldeep Yadav at number 9, more or less likely, and you would have another seamer, and that's going to be the big question over here. Whether India would want a batting option at 8, or India would want a proper bowling option with just to go with 4 proper bowlers and one all rounder at 7. Now that's a decision which India will have to again make. Now there are a few options which India, Bumrah and Siraj will definitely slot in, and the third seamer's role. Is it Arshdeep Singh? Is it Mohammad Shami? Now that's where India will have to decide on that. Is it going to be Kuldeep Yadav or Ravi Bishnoi? That's another thing which India will have to decide upon. And having said that, most likely it's going to be Kuldeep Yadav, considering that he had just picked up a 5 wicket haul. He is India's mainstay bowler. This is a good series for Ravi Bishnoi to be tried out right before the World Cup. But when the official full strength strong squad is announced, it's definitely going to be Kuldeep Yadav who's going to be the front runner in it. And then when we talk about if the pitches are turning in West Indies, you can obviously afford to play in with an extra bowling option and extra batting option, which is a number 8 all-rounder slot, which Washington Sundar / Akshar Patel might just take in. And then you can go in with 2 seamers in Siraj and Bumrah, with Hardik Pandya being your third seamer in West Indies pitches. So that's why I think India will not be bothered by how the team is looked up for today's game, and the structure of the 11, as I mentioned, is going to be a factor. Now the question which India will have to answer is, especially in this game, is regarding someone like Jitesh Sharma. How does he fit in? What is the role clarity going to be? And alongside that, how are you going to put in Rinku Singh, right? Now, Rinku Singh should be an ideal part of your 11. If India are not looking at Virat Kohli as an opener, it's such a sad thing to say, but Rinku Singh might not even make it to India's 11 for the T20 World Cup. Now, Rinku Singh has been your best player in the last couple of series you played against Australia and against South Africa. He's a player in good form. He just scored some Ranji Trophy runs as well. So you can see he's in sizzling form from the IPL of last year. He is one player you cannot replace, and he should be one player who should be number 1 on the list when you put up 11. But if things stand as it is, and if we do not have a clarity as to whether Virat Kohli is going to open the batting or whether Virat Kohli is going to bat at number 3. If Virat Kohli is going to bat at number 3, Surya Kumar Yadav is going to definitely take it number 4. Then you have 2 slots remaining. That is a wicketkeeper and an all-rounder, which Hardik Pandya and one between Jitesh or whoever is going to be the wicketkeeper will take in. So the only option India have at this point of stage is to play Rinku if Virat Kohli opens the batting. And that's the right way to go about it, because Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma should open the batting, in my opinion, because that's the only way how India can form a better structure among the 11. Otherwise, the structure, the left-hand option which India would have gotten with Rinku, everything could be just blown out. And with the form which Rinku has, you don't want to be dropping him. And obviously, Rinku doesn't offer bowling, so that is slightly going against him in this factor. But that shouldn't be a major factor, considering the fact that what he brings into the table is a lot more. India are looking for a finisher. Now, the biggest issue India has had in the recent past is to find a T20 finisher. Remember, in 2022 T20 World Cup, India did try on to play someone like a Dinesh Karthik to finish the innings off. But the consistency at which Rinku has been able to do it in the minimal amount of games he's played for India is phenomenal. And that's something which India will have to seriously put in the reckoning. Now, there are a few things we need to talk about this, right? Now, what does he bring? The left-hand option is definitely one thing. But other than that is a temperament factor. The temperament factor is going to give him a slight bit of advantage, given the fact that he can do that at a consistent pace. He's done that role of finisher both in franchise cricket, domestic cricket, and now international cricket. Now that's a big factor. That's where Rinku Singh should be a part of the 11. if Rinku Singh isn't part of the 11, that is if and when if Rinku Singh doesn't get that nod ahead, then India will have to definitely look for Jitesh Sharma to finish that, to do that job. But he might not be that effective as Rinku Singh, in all honesty. But let's look at Afghanistan's team as well, right? What does Afghanistan bring in? Ibrahim Zadran gets is the captain for today's game. If you talk about Ibrahim Zadran, the player, you can say he's more suited to playing the longer format of the game more than playing the shorter format. So that's where I think his position can be slightly questioned. But it's going to be very interesting to someone like Hashmatullah Oberze, how does he go about it? Because he's been phenomenal in terms of his all-round ability in the longer format, which is a 50-over format. How does he fit in a T20 game? And on top of that, you have options, right? You have someone like a Mujibur Rahman. You have a Naveen Haq who's had a decent T10 league, which has been recently concluded. Then you have Fazal Haq Faruqi, who gets to swing the ball up front, can cause havoc, especially with this power play bowling. Afghanistan aren't a bad team because they just are back after winning a series against UAE, and they are in decent amount of form. And we have to talk about someone like a Gurbaz, who's just scored 100 as well there. So he's a player in good form. He can be an X factor player in this series when you talk about the Afghanistan team. But having said that, you have to look at what India's team is also going to be looking like. Mukesh Kumar again gets an overhead in this T20 team. Who are India's other options? Maybe they could have tried Avesh Khan. Yes, they should have, considering the fact that if you have to compare between Avesh Khan and Mukesh Kumar as a T20 bowler, Mukesh Kumar is definitely the better red ball bowler, I believe, between the both. But in white ball cricket, I still believe Avesh Khan is a better bowler than Mukesh Kumar because Avesh Khan can bowl at the dead. He has got better variations. Mukesh Kumar, yes, he can keep bowling that line and length. He can be extremely disciplined, but does it really work in T20 cricket? I like to differ by saying no, it won't work in T20 cricket. So for that very matter, I would have loved to see someone like an Avesh Khan get the nod ahead. And Avi Bishnoi is not a bad option at all. Akshar Patel, yes, he'd want to really stamp a place in the 11. He'd want to be consistent because he knows his position has always been in the jeopardy because of the fact that Jadeja has been the preferred man. No matter what happens, Jadeja gets the nod ahead, considering his experience, considering what he brings as a fielder, and his bowling performance as well. As a batter in recent past, obviously Jadeja has tapered off, but that's why for Akshar Patel himself, this series is so important because if Akshar Patel has a decent series, then what happens is, more or less likely that, he can be that second option if Jadeja and if they want to play three spinners on a given day in one of those turning wickets in USA. In USA, the wickets are still to be found how the wickets are going to play out because there hasn't been a lot of games which has been played in USA. Barring Florida, India will be playing most of the games in New York, which is a ground which has been used for local club cricket at this point. So we do not know how the pitch is going to play out there. If it's a flat wicket, it's okay. Then you might want to go in with three paces. But if the wickets are going to be anything like what you saw in Caribbean, like the pitch is going to slow down, come very slow on the bat, the pitch is going to aid some turn, then you would want to play three spinners in the 11. So that's where maybe Akshar Patel will get in the nod ahead as a number 8 option, which will lengthen your batting attack and at the same time can chip in with few overs with sharing with someone like Hardik Pandya. So for Akshar Patel personally, this is going to be a massive series because this is going to decide his fortunes, and just not this, IPL is going to be a massive factor for Akshar Patel as well. Now you can say this is a very important series, but I still believe ultimately the selectors are going to be focused on IPL because the recency bias has always been there. If you look across Indian team selections over the last few years, right after IPL, you see players getting dropped. You see the IPL stars being talked about a lot more. The IPL stars getting fast tracked. A clear-cut example is someone like a Tilak Verma. In my opinion, Tilak Verma doesn't deserve to be in the 11 or doesn't deserve to be in the squad. That's uh, that's because I think he is still very raw. I still don't think he's an international cricket material just as yet. From whatever we have seen of Tilak Verma in the short stint he's played, yes, he's got the ability, he's got a lot of potential, but not ready for international cricket. So Tilak Verma being fast tracked, him getting a nod in 11 time and time again is just baffling in my opinion because he doesn't deserve 11. He doesn't deserve a place in the 11. I think there are better players than him, and he barely gets to ball. If you're not going to use him as a bowler, and if you're just playing him as a left-hand batter for the sake of it, I think there are better players in the country to take up that role. And when someone like a Sanju Samson is waiting in the wings, I think it's just baffling. Or you could have gone with someone like a Shubman Gill at 3 and could have played Yashasvi Jaiswal as well. So These were better options than someone like a Tilak Verma being consistently tried at number three, and he's failed miserably. I mean, let's be very honest, Tilak Verma as a batter in international cricket hasn't been impressive at all. So I think India will have to look beyond Tilak Verma if he is going to keep on failing, because it's about time you realize that yes, he's got something about him. But let's be honest, uh, barring those few innings he played in West Indies earlier on in his career, he's been utter disappointment. He scored, yeah, his average looks good. His strike rate is 140, average is 34. But let's be honest, it's all because of the few innings he's played. In one day cricket, he's been abysmal. He's averaging what, 22. Let me be very honest. In international cricket, Tilak Verma has looked slightly out of place. Maybe he might have a very good series against Afghanistan, and the narrative will change all of a sudden that Tilak Verma is the right person to be in the 11. But hope not. I really hope not. That's the case, because Tilak Verma doesn't look like the part for me in international cricket at least, and there are better players to fill in his role. Hope that he does well. But having said that, what is the role of someone like I personally Shivam Dubey in this team is going to be very important, because he's just had a very good Ranji Trophy game, the recent against Bihar, where he scored 40 odd with the bat, picked up 6 odd wickets in the entire game, 4 wicket haul as well, 4 for 10. So I think Shivam Dubey is a player coming into this game with a lot of form, and he's had a decent last season as well, and he's not got consistent run in international cricket, except that series which he had in Ireland where he looked very impressive batting with Rinku Singh. So I personally think Shubham Dubey is going to be an important factor in this 11. Remember, if Hardik is not fit for the T20 World Cup, given the fact that Hardik's injuries have been a massive issue with Team India, that he's not been able to play for a consistent period of time. So you would want to know who your replacement is for Hardik Pandya. For that very reason, playing Shubham Dubey in this series is so important, and that also means your structure of the 11 is going to be built around that fast bowling all rounder at number 4, number 5. So that's a good move by Team India. And he's a player in decent form as well. He's got the ability. He showed that in the IPL last season, what he brings into the table, how his range hitting has improved a lot more, how he's much more solid in the crease right now. Before, he used to be slightly more vulnerable to pace in excess of 140, but he has tried to counter that by playing a lot more quick ballers in the last season's IPL. He's looked a lot more comfortable, I like to say so. And against spin, he's been threatening as always. He like to play on the way. He's not a pure slogger. He uses his power. Remember, he's got a good range, especially when it comes to his arc. And if you're bowling in his arc, he can clear. He can hit a long ball. So for that very matter, Shivam Dubey is going to be massive in this team. And as left-hander, you can see once again India have got plenty of left-hand options in the top 11. If you look at the number of left-handers India have in the top 7 for that matter, you've got close to 4 left-handers in the top. No, actually, if you take it to the top 8 as well, you got 5 left-handers in top 8, which includes the likes of Tilak Verma, Shivam Dubey, Rinku Singh, Akshar Patel, and Washington Sundar. So that's a lot of left-handers to reckon with, and India will want to know that they'd have to use the left-handers to best of effects. Come the T20 World Cup, obviously we're going to have a few more right-handers coming into the 11, which is Hardik Pandya, Surya Kumar Yadav, Virat Kohli is going to be back from the next game as well. So that's definitely a factor which India will want to consider, a left-hand option, which is with Rinku Singh. You don't want to miss out on it. And then obviously you have Akshar Patel / Jadeja, who is going to slot in at number 7, is going to be a left-hander for you. Now, another big thing is, I remember Sunil Gavaskar made an interesting comment earlier today that if Rishabh Pant is even half fit, you should take him T20 World Cup, which I think is slightly absurd as well. Once again, given the fact that Rishabh Pant have to prove his fitness, number one, number two, would not know where he will stand at least in this IPL. I think IPL is just a slow process of integrating him in back into cricket. But it's still early days. I don't see him part of this T20 team, and he is definitely not wicket keeping for India. So for India, at least at this point, Rishabh Pant is not going to come back. And if you look at his T20I stats, personally speaking, he's not been in the best of touches in T20 format, even before the tragic accident he had met. T20 has been one format he tried to click. Remember, India tried him as an opener, just hoping that he clicks as a T20 opener, but it wasn't to be. So India will have to definitely look and rethink about Rishabh Pant. I don't see him even making a comeback, even if he has a half decent IPL. I don't see him in the T20 World Cup setup. This is more or less likely going to be India's T20 squad. Maybe an addition of Surya Kumar Yadav, Hardik Pandya, and Virat Kohli. That's going to be India's batting attack, what I'm talking about. But other than that, the bowlers, obviously, you're going to see a complete overhaul in the bowling lineup with Kuldeep, Siraj, and Bumrah. They're all going to be back. But once again, whether India would want to go in with an Arshdeep Singh or not, is certainly a call which India will have to make, because Arshdeep Singh had a decent one-day international series, but Arshdeep Singh in the recent past in T20 has been going for quite a lot of runs. So India will have to be extremely wary in terms of who they want to pick, how they want to go about in terms of structure. And that's about it from us, especially when it comes to discussing the squad and looking into today's game. Obviously, it was a big toss for India to win, and India have decided to ball first. Have put Afghanistan to bat in very cold and chilly Mohali, and the conditions are pretty cold and pretty dewy. So India would want to make the most out of it while chasing. The 11 is that Shubman Gill is there in the team. Yashasvi Jaiswal has been dropped. Tilak Verma is still there. And you go in with Mukesh Kumar, Ashdeep Singh, Ravi Bishnoi, Washington Sundar, and Akshar Patel as your bowlers, alongside Shivam Dubey as your sixth bowler. That's about from us. And as I remind you once again, if you're new here, do check out our courses with Mad About Sports. If you want to enter into a career of cricket analytics, we're running a 5-day workshop. You don't need to have any prior knowledge in terms of having a data understanding. You can come in with free mind and you can learn a lot, and you can kickstart your career as a data analyst with your favorite sporting team or your favorite organization. The link is down in the description. Click it and have a wonderful time studying our course. And also, do not forget to follow Mad About Sports on Instagram and subscribe to our channel over here on YouTube, and share this video with as many people as possible. That'll really help us to reach out to many, many people as well. Have a good day, all of you. See you all very soon. Bye bye.